4 years, she was Hollywood's darling, a bright star gracing our screens with undeniable talent and a heartwarming smile. But beneath the polished veneer of success, China and McClain harbored a secret, a quiet struggle within the very industry that celebrated her. Now, after years of silence, the beloved actress from House of Pain and Disney's Descendants has delivered a bombshell revelation, pulling back the curtain on her experience with one of Hollywood's most formidable figures, Tyler Perry. What she unveiled isn't just another celebrity exposé. It's a seismic shift, exposing alleged mistreatment and a stifling environment that challenges everything we thought we knew about power and entertainment. This is more than a tell-all. It's a crucial wake-up call for an entire industry. The image versus reality. China and McClain's journey through Hollywood seemed like a fairy tale. From her early days captivating audiences on House of Pain to her breakout success in E&T Farm and Descendants, she was seen as a young talent on an unstoppable rise, seemingly thriving in the limelight. Fans adored her infectious energy, her undeniable charisma, and her ability to bring characters to life. Yet, as the camera stopped rolling and the red carpet events concluded, a vastly different narrative was unfolding. Behind the scenes, the vibrant young star was quietly grappling with unseen pressures, and now, for the first time, China's ready to lay bare her truth. Her emotional account has lifted the veil on her time working under Tyler Perry, a creative force often lauded for championing Black talent. However, her experience, she claims, was far from the empowering narrative often portrayed. You're about to hear the real reasons she began to step away, the hidden struggles she endured, and why she felt compelled to share the realities of how young actors, particularly Black women, are navigated in this industry. From alleged attempts at creative control to unspoken power dynamics, China is no longer holding back. And what makes this even more startling? She suggests her story is not an isolated incident, but a pattern that has gone largely unaddressed for years. Prepare yourself, because we're about to uncover every unsettling detail: China's covert battles on the House of Pain set, the cryptic clues she left in interviews, the precise moment she chose to break free, and the direct claims she made about Tyler Perry that left fans stunned. You won't believe the allegations about their private encounters and the unexpected figures reportedly backing her claims from the shadows. This isn't merely drama, it's a crucial reckoning. Seeds of discontent. Long before the public whispers and swirling controversies, China and McClain epitomized youthful promise in Black Hollywood. Born into a family steeped in music, her father a producer, her mother a songwriter, talent flowed through her veins. By the age of 7, she secured her first major film role in the gospel, and it wasn't long before Tyler Perry noticed her raw potential. In 2007, she landed the role of Jasmine Payne in House of Pain, a cornerstone sitcom that brought Black family life to mainstream television. It appeared to be the quintessential opportunity, a young Black actress working alongside one of the most influential Black directors globally. Millions were captivated by Jasmine's spirited charm and comedic timing. China quickly became a fan favorite. To the outside world, she was living every aspiring actor's ultimate fantasy. Yet, beneath her radiant on-screen presence, certain realities were never captured by the cameras. In various interviews throughout her career, China subtly hinted at the intense pressures of her early acting days. She spoke vaguely about grueling schedules, stringent creative oversight, and moments where her voice felt unheard. A particularly revealing instance occurred during a 2022 podcast when she candidly stated, "There were times when I felt like a product, not a person, especially when I was younger." While she refrained from naming names at the time, these past comments now resonate with a profound new meaning in light of her recent statements concerning Tyler Perry. Anonymous insiders from the House of Pain set have since corroborated that the working atmosphere wasn't always supportive. Several described a do-as-you're-told culture, where actors, even minors, reportedly had minimal input on character development, work hours, or even the freedom to voice concerns. For a child actor like China, this wasn't just physically taxing, it was emotionally restrictive. The breaking point. Despite her mounting unease, China diligently continued her work. She posed for photos, maintained a low profile, and attempted to convince herself this was simply the nature of Hollywood, especially for someone fortunate enough to secure a role in a Tyler Perry production. However, as she matured and gained more experience, her perspective began to shift. She started to perceive the stark power imbalances with greater clarity and began to ask questions. According to sources close to her, this is when tensions truly began to mount. What started to stir up friction? The moment she began asserting her creative boundaries, particularly concerning her personal values, character portrayal, and public image, Perry's team reportedly reacted unfavorably. What happened next would change everything. For years, China and McClain had meticulously maintained the persona of a flawless professional, consistently respectful, always smiling, never creating a disturbance. Yet, beneath that carefully constructed exterior, a deep-seated frustration had been simmering, eventually reaching its boiling point. Insiders close to China indicate that by the time she returned for the House of Pain reboot in 2020, a profound transformation had occurred within her. She had matured spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually. No longer the naive child star content with merely following directions, China returned with a renewed sense of purpose. She had established firm boundaries, cherished values, and a personal vision that extended far beyond sitcom scripts and laugh tracks. However, her attempts to articulate these changes reportedly did not sit well with certain production members. Multiple sources revealed that when China raised concerns about scenes she felt clashed with her faith, particularly those involving adult humor or themes she didn't want her character associated with, she was frequently silenced, dismissed, or simply told to trust the process. Initially, she tried to navigate these conversations diplomatically, but over time, her frustration with being unheard intensified. She allegedly requested a private meeting with Tyler Perry himself, hoping to discuss her character's trajectory and voice her spiritual discomfort. This meeting, according to individuals familiar with the discussion, marked a pivotal turning point. China reportedly left the conversation in tears. While the precise exchange remains unconfirmed publicly, a close friend shared, "She went in hoping to be heard. She came out knowing she never would be. That was the day she decided she was done." After that fateful meeting, China began to pull back, both emotionally and professionally. On social media, fans started to pick up on subtle clues, cryptic captions, references to spiritual warfare, and increasingly frequent mentions of feeling confined in environments that contradicted her deeply held beliefs. In one poignant Instagram live, China shared, "The enemy isn't always obvious. Sometimes he comes in the form of opportunity, of success, of people you once trusted." At the time, many fans interpreted her words as a general critique of the industry, but in hindsight, those statements echo like a direct message, perhaps aimed at someone like Tyler Perry. Privately, she began to distance herself from the show, turning down other projects linked to the Tyler Perry brand. She became highly selective about what she would agree to film, and her energy on set noticeably shifted. Castmates later described her as quieter, more introspective, a stark contrast to the bubbly teenager they remembered from earlier seasons. And then came the ultimate decision: she walked away. Despite being one of the most recognizable and beloved stars of the House of Pain franchise, China and McClain quietly departed from the series. She chose instead to pursue faith-based endeavors, content creation, and independent projects that afforded her complete creative autonomy. She never staged a dramatic exit or published a tell-all, yet her silence resonated louder than any press release could. Those who had worked closely with her understood her departure stemmed from one powerful reason. She refused to compromise her peace and principles for a paycheck. But here's where the narrative takes an even more intense turn. Whispers began to circulate behind the scenes that China wasn't merely walking away, she was preparing to reveal even more. And what she was about to disclose had the potential to profoundly impact Tyler Perry's entire public standing. A system under scrutiny. When China and McClain finally decided to break her silence, she didn't go through traditional media channels. She didn't issue a carefully crafted public statement via lawyers. She didn't even directly name names. Instead, she chose the most direct route this generation of truth-tellers often takes. She went live. In a raw, unedited Instagram live that has since been screen-recorded and widely shared across every imaginable social media platform, China looked into the camera, eyes glistening, her voice unwavering. What began as a casual chat with fans quickly transformed into something far more profound and revealing. "I've been quiet for a long time, but I'm not going to be silent anymore. I need to speak my truth." That opening line alone ignited a frenzy among viewers. Comments flooded in, messages of support, concern, and a deluge of questions. What was she about to reveal? Who was she referencing? Then came the first shockwave. There are people in this industry, people you admire, people you think are doing God's work, who are really just using their power to manipulate and control. I've been on sets where I've seen it, I've lived it, and no one talks about it because they're afraid. While she carefully avoided explicitly naming Tyler Perry in that precise moment, the implications were undeniable. Within seconds, viewers connected the dots, the timeline, the allusions to her House of Pain tenure, the faith-based language. It all pointed in a singular direction. Then came the more direct statement. There were moments where I wanted to walk off the set, moments where I said, "This doesn't feel right." And I was told to do it anyway. And the people who made those decisions, they weren't strangers. They were people I had looked up to. She proceeded to describe an alleged incident during the filming of a House of Pain episode where she attempted to object to a scene she found morally and spiritually conflicting. According to her, she was pressured into proceeding, warned that refusing would disrupt production, and told she should be grateful for the opportunity. They'll say they're giving you a platform, but what they really want is obedience. And if you push back, you're labeled difficult, ungrateful, or emotional. The live stream continued for nearly 30 minutes, and while China never resorted to accusatory or disrespectful language, her words carried an undeniable power. She spoke not merely as a former child star, but as a young black woman who had come of age in an industry that often celebrates figures like Tyler Perry while seemingly overlooking the emotional toll on those behind the scenes. Her message deeply resonated, particularly with other young actors, some of whom subsequently posted cryptic messages hinting that China's experience was not unique under Perry's productions. Within 24 hours, her Instagram live had exploded, with clips of her confession rapidly uploaded to YouTube channels, celebrity gossip blogs, TikTok pages, and podcasts. Hashtags like #ChinaMcClain, #HouseOfPainTruth, and #TylerPerryExposed began to trend furiously. Fan forums erupted with debate. Some lauded her courage, while others staunchly defended Perry, questioning China's motives. And then, Tyler Perry's camp reportedly responded. According to multiple industry insiders, representatives from Tyler Perry Studios privately contacted China's team, seeking to clarify her comments. One source close to the situation even alleged that a cease and desist letter was quietly prepared, though its official delivery remains unconfirmed. But if the intention was to silence her, it undeniably failed. In a subsequent Instagram story, China boldly declared, "You don't scare me. I'm covered, and I'm not here to destroy. I'm here to tell the truth. That's what God called me to do." It was a defiant, unapologetic statement that made one thing unequivocally clear: China and McClain was no longer willing to conform to Hollywood's unspoken rules. But here's the development no one saw coming. Two former Tyler Perry collaborators, including an actress with a significant role in another one of his hit series, are now rumored to be preparing to speak out as well. Could this be the initial tremor of a much larger reckoning? Once China and McClain dared to crack open the surface of her truth, the pervasive silence surrounding Tyler Perry's formidable empire began to crumble. What started as one courageous voice quickly initiated the unraveling of a much deeper narrative, one that had been quietly brewing just beneath the surface for years. For a significant period, Tyler Perry was viewed as an untouchable titan, a powerhouse who built a multi-billion-dollar media empire independently, without reliance on major studios. He was celebrated as a pioneer, especially within the black entertainment sphere, lauded for creating opportunities, fostering new talent, and opening doors for underrepresented stories. However, as China's revelations gained traction, a strikingly different picture began to emerge. Shortly after her viral Instagram live, fans started noticing unusual posts from other actors who had previously worked on Perry's sets. Subtle at first, these were cryptic quotes about power, silence, and creative control. But then, one post seized everyone's attention. A well-known actress from the haves and the have-nots, who requested anonymity for now, posted a black screen to her Instagram with just 4 words. She told no lies, no hashtags, No tagging, just that powerful sentence. The internet immediately understood. Fans of the show knew she had collaborated closely with Tyler Perry for years, and that simple post was enough to ignite speculation that China's experience was far from unique. Soon after, a former assistant director who worked on If Loving You Is Wrong tweeted, "There's so much the public doesn't know. Working under that system isn't as empowering as it looks from the outside." And then came yet another voice, this time from a background actor who had appeared in multiple Tyler Perry productions over 4 years. In a TikTok that swiftly went viral, she shared, "People think working for Tyler Perry is a dream come true, but it's a machine. A fast-paced, don't ask questions, don't make waves kind of machine. You say something, you're gone. You ask for a break, they replace you." China, and said what a lot of us have felt for a long time. These revelations struck hard, especially because they were originating from within the system, not from tabloid gossip, but from individuals who had stood on those very sets. And here's where the situation intensifies even further. A leaked memo, allegedly originating from within Tyler Perry Studios, began circulating in fan forums and media circles. While its authenticity hasn't been definitively confirmed, it reportedly outlined public relations protocols designed to manage social media allegations and emphasized limiting public engagement with inflammatory content. Was the studio attempting to shield its image, or was it scrambling to regain control of a narrative that had already slipped from its grasp? One thing is unmistakably clear. The more voices that emerged, the more Perry's carefully constructed public persona began to show cracks. Though he has maintained public silence regarding China and McClain statements, that silence is growing louder with each passing day. Critics have begun scrutinizing the inner workings of his empire. Why are there so few writers on his shows besides himself? Why does he reportedly resist collaborative storytelling when so many actors have voiced discomfort? And why have so many former employees spoken of burnout, creative tension, and an atmosphere where questioning the process was perceived as an act of betrayal? A movement unfolding. But here's the most astonishing turn of events. An anonymous source from a major network that has partnered with Tyler Perry on past projects has hinted that executives are re-evaluating future collaborations in light of the mounting controversy. While no official statement has been released, the mere fact that major networks are considering distancing themselves speaks volumes about the gravity of this unfolding moment. Now, fans are sharply divided. While some continue to steadfastly support Tyler Perry, viewing these revelations as exaggerated or misinterpreted, others are demanding transparency, accountability, and crucially, that Black creatives be empowered to flourish without being silenced or controlled. And for China and McClain, this may be just the genesis of her journey, because word is rapidly spreading that she is currently crafting a full-length memoir, and insiders claim she is unequivocally naming names. The unwritten future. After the shockwave her bold confession sent through the industry, many assumed China and McClain would retreat, quietly disappearing from the public eye like so many others who dared to speak out. But what transpired next proved that China wasn't merely narrating her story. She was powerfully reclaiming her influence, her identity, and her destiny. According to publishing insiders, China has officially signed a deal with a prominent publishing house for a memoir, one that will delve not only into her career but also her profound journey through faith, alleged betrayal, Hollywood politics, and ultimately healing. While she hasn't publicly announced the book yet, early reports indicate she has been writing for over a year, and Tyler Perry is indeed directly addressed in several pivotal chapters. One person intimately involved in the process revealed, "This isn't a revenge book, it's a spiritual testimony, a truth-telling. She's writing not to harm people, but to set herself free, and perhaps help others discover that same freedom." Her unwavering faith, it appears, has been her anchor through it all. China has become increasingly outspoken about her Christianity in recent years, utilizing her platform to share biblical verses, facilitate discussions on spiritual growth, and speak candidly about the emotional toll of compromising one's values for the allure of fame. What distinguishes her isn't just her talent, but her steadfast refusal to dilute her message for mainstream acceptance. In one powerful post, she wrote, "I'd rather be canceled by the world than silenced by my own spirit. God gave me this voice, and I won't waste it anymore." She's even launched a YouTube series centered on truth, transparency, and unfiltered conversations about the industry. She has already begun mentoring young artists, warning them of the very traps she once walked into with wide-eyed innocence and a trusting heart. And despite all the backlash she's endured, China asserts she harbors no regrets. If one girl feels less alone, if one person decides to stand up for themselves because they saw me do it, then it was all worth it. As for Tyler Perry, he maintains his public silence. No comments, no denials, no confirmations. And perhaps that silence speaks more profoundly than any words could. The world is watching now, not just because a beloved young actress courageously spoke up, but because she directly challenged the very system that created her. In doing so, she compelled fans, networks, and creators to confront a critical question: what are we truly endorsing when we choose to overlook the cost of someone else's silence? So here we stand. One of his generation's most compelling young voices has emerged from the shadows, and she shows no signs of backing down. China and McClain's journey transcends a mere headline. It is a burgeoning movement, a powerful reminder that even in an industry constructed on bright lights, cameras, and thunderous applause, a genuine human soul resides behind every smile. If you found this story compelling, revealing, or simply thought-provoking, now is your opportunity to voice your perspective. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe China's story? What do you envision for Tyler Perry's legacy moving forward? Hit that like button, subscribe for more truth-driven stories, and remember to activate notifications so you never miss the next significant revelation from the entertainment sphere. This is World of Stars, where we relentlessly uncover the truths they prefer you never know.